This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. There he is, locked and loaded and ready to go. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good with your pink shirt?
I'm good. It's Easter weekend. Got to bring out the pink for Easter. You know, Good Friday today for those who celebrate. And so, yeah, I'm actually getting ready because I've got TV right after we do Big O Show. So I'll be coming on at 1:30 and 2:30 and then again at 2:55. And so got to have my dress suit already ready. I got my suit right here, my tie. And so I hop off from Big O, sew my suit and tie on, and go to the NFL Network in the same spot. So
what are you supposed to be talking about on the NFL Network today?
Yeah, maybe just a little 80s music, a little You would enjoy that. You probably enjoy that more than what I'm actually going to talk about. But no,
probably
this week we're kind of leading up to the draft, and so I will do some Panthers talk. We're doing NFC South talk, so I'll talk some Panthers.
Are you believing Mortenson's report? I mean, Mort's legit as it gets,
yeah.
But he says they're going to take Young, and I would take Stroud, bro. I'm a Stroud. Nothing against Young, but I would take CJ Stroud if I'm the Panthers. I'm taking Stroud number one, bro.
Yeah, I think I haven't heard definitively that they're going to take Bryce Young, but I will say I've heard that the CJ Stroud love, I think when it first came out, the betting odds were like overwhelmingly CJ Stroud. I don't think it's that wide. I think it's a lot closer. And to be real with you, if I was making a mock draft today, I'd probably put Bryce Young number one. Just kind of from my conversations with people I've talked to in Carolina, nobody's told me anything definitively like that. Like, hey, we're taking Bryce. But I know some people in that organization. I've had conversations with them. The big question is, can they get past the height, right? That's the thing with Bryce. You know, talking with scouts, they believe that he is the most talented and most pro-ready of the quarterbacks, Bryce Young. But he's 5'10", maybe 200 or so pounds soaking wet. And so you have to ask yourself, are we willing to take that risk? Where CJ Stroud's a very good and accurate quarterback, and he's probably the safest of all of these quarterbacks that have a lot of different, potential issues. But do you make the bigger swing, maybe the bigger upside with the Bryce Young? I think that's something that a lot of the Panthers discussions are going on right now. And what's cool about their search, and I'll talk about this more on Network, is it's not a one-man show. A lot of times you have either your owner or your GM or whoever is your guy. It's like, it's my decision. And it might be 7 dudes in the room who think something else, but that one guy is going to turn in the card. Well, they got 9-10 dudes that are very much in the decision-making process. They've been taking like a jet everywhere they go to these pro days, like 11 or 12 deep, and taking them to dinners, each of these quarterback prospects. So they're going to make sure they do their full evaluation. But no, I would not be surprised one bit if Bryce Young's the pick at one.
I'm with you there. It's crazy that it would be Bryce, but I would I would go with Stroud. I'll be interested to see if this does end up happening. Did you see Cater Kohu switch to number 4 now?
That is. May the 4 be with you, or force be with you, whatever you go with. Fourth. There it is. That's it.
So
That's it. I like it. I'm a big single-digit number guy. I love it for a DB. I would say my last year in my junior year in high school, I played high school ball in New Jersey. I got to wear number 2. And it was my favorite number to ever wear. And it took me a while to get it because it's usually an upperclassman number. You have to earn number 2. Usually when you're freshman and junior, you got to get stuck with whatever you're given. And for Cater, he was an undrafted rookie. I'm sure they're like, hey, kid, we got 37 and we've got 39 and we got 46. What do you want? Honestly don't even remember what number Cater was at before. 28. Yeah, okay, there it is. So I didn't know. But like 28 is a decent DB number. That's actually better than most undrafted rookies get. I don't know if he switched after cuts happened or if he got that number, he got lucky. But a lot of times you get the number you're given your rookie year. And now that the NFL is letting you wear single-digit numbers, now that Cater's got a little bit more clout, he's proven that he's a starter. He can prove it. You can wear that 4 with confidence. I don't know if you guys remember, but Trill Williams came in when he first got here, and he was wearing an ugly number. I can't even remember.
51.
That like, I think we should one day in the dead of summer when we have nothing to talk about, sometime in June when we're doing the show. I want to have a segment on worst numbers because I think that 51 is pretty high up there.
It's a linebacker, bro.
It is. But even for a linebacker, like I'm trying to think of what great
Brian Cox.
player. Yeah, what great
Brian
player.
Cox, bro. 551 is Brian Cox.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so there's always going to be one. But my thing is that if you're wearing 51 at cornerback, if I'm a quarterback, and goes back to high school. This goes back. If I see you, like I can know nothing about you. I don't read the scouting report at all. But if I see 51 standing out there at corner, guess who I'm throwing the ball to every time?
51.
51 could be your best player, but I'm gonna find out because you're wearing 51. So either they don't like you on the team, you showed up late, or you just have no confidence at all. Because 51 is not a number that a cornerback chooses on his own. And so Cater gets to choose his own number, which tells me he's getting a little bit more confident swag about himself. 51 is better for a linebacker. Like you said, Brian Cox, good number for him, not for a cornerback. 28 is a solid number, but 4 is a lot better for Cater. So thumbs up on the jersey number switch.
28, I'm fine with a DB with 28.
Yeah,
that one I'm fine. Good with.
It's fine. Nobody's going to complain. It's not bad. It's not good. It's fine.
Yeah. True's 51 was, but then again, that's what the street free agent gets.
Yeah, you get like what are you going to do? You were the last man in here. You're going to be like, nah, man, I'm not signing unless you give me a 20 number. No, you take what you get. And True eventually was able to switch when he made the team where it was looking like he was going to make the team. And I think this year, if he does make the team, he's not going to be wearing 51.
Do we know anything about the guys that were banged up, from True Williams to Teron Armstead there were so many guys with injuries. Do we have any update on any of those guys and their progress?
I don't know anything definitive. I know that Nick Needham was progressing towards hopeful to be training camp. I talked to Trill Williams at our locker room cleanout day, or the Dolphins locker room cleanout day. And he told me he thought that he would be able to get started back to running around this time, which is the start of OTAs, but he thought he wouldn't be back on the field until training camp, just to be careful. So, from what he had told me then, I wouldn't expect to see a lot of Trill Williams doing the full drills, but he said he felt like he would be cleared to run and do all of those start elements around this point of the season. And so those are the two guys that I heard the most definitive update for. Raheem should be back and good to go. A lot of the vets may not be there for OTAs, but he was the other guy for health wise. I think he'll be good. I remember seeing Liam Eichenberg with a sling on his arm, but I don't think that was something that was going to hold him out of any part of this season. So he should be back good. I'm trying to think who else was injured coming off of last season. Am I missing someone?
No, there were a couple other guys, but I just want to see if
those are the main ones. Yeah, so that's what I know about them. I honestly haven't reached out in the last couple of weeks to get a status update, but kind of from what I last heard, they're all kind of on track to be back on the field, more towards training camp, not necessarily OTAs or mini camp.
All right, good stuff there. The other thing, what do you think the Ravens do? Do the Ravens end up selecting a quarterback? Because the way DaCosta kind of left it open, that you never know. And if you're the Ravens, does it behoove you not to get a quarterback? Maybe you should, because if this situation is only going to get uglier, and I think he's going to hold out, actually. When it's all said, I don't think he's going to get an offer, because he is looking for a lot of guarantees, and I don't think anybody's willing to give him those guarantees, plus the 2 first-rounders that they have to give up. So it becomes a really difficult situation for Lamar to really get the deal he wants. So he may have to sign the tag, but he's not going to want to do that. So if he holds out, and you're the Ravens, and here goes the offseason, and it continues holding out, and you get to the training camp and he's not there, you better have a quarterback. And I know that their backup quarterback is a Pro Bowler, but come on,
Right. I think that Lamar's situation is maybe the most. I know Aaron Rodgers is still out there, but Aaron Rodgers seems like, hey, it's just whoever blinks between the Jets.
The inevitable, right?
Yeah. Lamar has a lot of different outcomes. This could be, hey, we're going to take this to the death, and we're going into the season with this, and they're still staring at each other. They could all of a sudden, any day now, come to an agreement quietly, and we just not know, and bam, Lamar's got a new extension and somebody settled, and that's where it is. or they could figure out a trade at some point. I mean, there's so many different elements. And what's added to the fact is the fact that the Ravens now are talking about the possibility of, oh, we're listening to draft prospects. We could potentially draft a guy in the first round. Maybe some of this is all negotiations, and maybe they ultimately wouldn't. But can you imagine if this team, traded up for Anthony Richardson or drafted a Hendon Hooker at the
That's the guy.
That 16,
guy.
So if they just sitting there at 16, they could just wait there. Wouldn't even have to trade up. You draft a Hendon Hooker. What does that say? What does that do? That there's a lot of different elements there that makes this,
Although it doesn't say that you're starting him right away either, because he won't be ready to start until halfway through the season is when he might be available to you. At that point. Is when he's going to be healthy. So even the Hendon Hooker won't send the same kind of signals. But if you do get like another quarterback that is healthy and ready to go right from the get-go, oh man, that's going to stir it up right away.
Right. Absolutely. I think I do think at this point it's leverage. But if it and we don't know truly how they feel. If it's got to the point for them where they feel like, hey, this is untenable. Like we've got to prepare ourselves for moving on. Then that's the final blow. Hey, we're going to decide to move forward on our quarterback situation as if we have to move without you. And so, it makes it stickier. I still believe the most likely scenario is that the Ravens and Lamar find a way somehow to make it work. Even if it's a short term, hey, we'll give you an increase of the franchise tag for 1 or 2 years, and we'll revisit this conversation next year. Whatever it is, I think they make it work out because there's clearly not a long line of teams that are able to or willing to give him what he wants at this point. And but I may believe that we don't have any indication at this point to show that is imminent.
So Steve Keim, by the way, who drafted Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And a former general manager who drafted Murray and gave him that big contract. He's no longer with the team. He addressed Murray during an appearance on the Green Light with Chris Long podcast, and Keim reiterated what the right tackle Kevin Beacham said last month. Murray needs to grow up a little bit. He still needs to grow, Keim said on the podcast. He's not a bad guy. He's a good kid, has a good smile, has a nice way about him. I think it's like anything. Guys have to continue to learn what it's going to take to be great. Does he know what Tom Brady and Peyton Manning know, or what it like to be great? No. Does he work? He does work. I think it's just that side of the game, the film study, the attention to detail part of that he needs to continue to improve upon. I think he will. Kyler's a proud guy, a man. He doesn't want to lose, and he doesn't want to let people down.
Yeah. I mean, that's a guy who's been with them. I mean, I will say it's a lot easier to say that when you're not the GM. You don't have.
That GM added a practice clause a study clause to his contract. So that GM was critical of him right from the get-go, and it was weak sauce on that team to then take that out after everybody else found out. Well, hey man, but this is who you are, unfortunately. Protect yourself as a team and put him on the spot. I think it's a little disturbing when your quarterback doesn't come in with a work ethic. I think that has to be automatic in a quarterback at all levels. And then when I think of that, I think of Johnny Manziel. I think of that guy. The day of his workout, he came out in pads and music and all that, and it was like, you're not taking this shit serious. And then when you get to the NFL, you're not taking it serious. And to me, that's a problem when any quarterback is not the hardest worker on your team. That guy should be that coming straight out of college. You should have already had that work ethic if you're going to draft a quarterback. That's just me. Look, you can be raw like Anthony Richardson, but you better be a what's that called? A gym jockey? What is it? A gym rat? Gym rat.
Yes.
You better be a gym rat. Okay. I don't care how raw you are, but you better be super hungry to be great.
Right. Absolutely. And so that's the part that, with Kyler has always been a question. You know, it's not the talent, it's the work. And so you've already, the problem for the Cardinals, and I've got to go after this because they need me at the top of the 1 o'clock now. So I got 8 minutes. But the thing about Kyler is that the question's never been the talent. It's always been the work, but you've already committed all that guaranteed money to him. So you're essentially asking him to improve on something that you already paid him not to be. And so that's a dangerous element for the Cardinals, because you can say all you want, hey, he's got to be more mature, he's got to do that, but it's on him now to do it.
Right.
You know, it's not like, hey, if he does this, we'll reward him. You've already rewarded him for what he was. And so now you're hoping that the self-motivation, the pressure, the comments in the media help it click. And I think that's why they're saying it. It's like, man, we have no leverage anymore. We've already paid him. And so we just hope that maybe he gets it.
Yeah. And let me tell you, he has the trait that I don't think Lamar has. Yeah. He's a passer, bro.
Yeah.
He's a passer. So if he gets his work ethic part straightened out, he can be a player in this league, because my real concern with him coming out of school was only his size, that, you know, durability. Can he take shots?
Yep.
But I one of the things I realized after watching him play for the last couple of years, you first got to catch him.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. And although he's small, he's so elusive.
You can't catch him. Yeah.
He's
it's Warwick Dunn. It's Warwick Dunn. It's Barry Sanders.
Yep.
They weren't big either, but you never got a shot on those guys.
Right.
And they were running backs.
Yep.
That shit is hard, bro.
It really is. It really is.
Okay. And that's it. All right. I know you got to go. I'll see you next week.
Absolutely.
Have a great weekend, my friend. Appreciate you as always.
Perfect. Sounds great, man. All right.
You got it, baby. Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolfe. We now pack it back in, and we put the Wolf Pack for rest till next week.
This is the Big O Show.